Hello, everyone, and welcome to this live. Oh my goodness, this empowerment conference has been so dynamic, and I hope that you've been able to capture all of the nuggets that have been shared from the previous sessions. First, at 10 a.m., we had Coach Mary Mah, and Coach Mary Mah did a phenomenal job. I have my notes here. And she was talking about other people's expectations and the shame and stigma has serious consequences because her topic was breaking chains of shame and stigma. Then we had Pandi's Hair, Candy, and More, and her topic was empower to inspire, breaking chains, and embracing freedom. I was just on Be Amazing Sylvia, and I'm telling you, she was definitely sharing the word. Oh my goodness. I know I feel like chains have been not only dropped, but broken after hearing her message about being aware because she was talking about breaking the chains of deception. So, if you don't already know, this is the Empowerment Conference, and the topic is breaking chains. And I have to give a shout out to Marlene Motivates. Every great team has an amazing GM, a general manager that brings all the right players to the field and on the team. And Marlene Motivates has been that now for the past 4 quarters. This is the fourth empowerment conference that she's put on this year, and she has brought together dynamic content creators to share information on the topic at hand. And again, for this empowerment conference, it's breaking chains. And each of us have a different perspective, a different experience of how we are overcoming and breaking those chains in our lives. So coming after me, and it's pinned at the top, is it, I'm sorry. Team Build with Geo, and she's also known as Boss Life Online, but it's Team Build with Geo. And then wrapping it all up and bringing it all home and putting that bow on it is going to be Marlene Motivates. And I'm just honored and really blessed to be part of this group and to be asked, to come and speak. This is my third one. Last time was so interesting. I have not seen that where she had us do duets. So I was on with Be Amazing Sylvia, who was before me. If you've missed the first three, you can be sure to check my community wall because I did share out the first three presenters. And we all are going to have a playlist so that you can hear and play back all of the content because I'm trying to tell you there have been nuggets that have been dropped that are going to be game changers for your life. And I appreciate everyone that's in the building. I know that Elevate with Vern was here, and thank you so much for holding it down before the beginning of this. And I see Marlene Motivates, Nancy Perrin Ministries, Coach Mary Mah, Pandy's Hair, Candy, and More. And I have my notebook. Listen, I don't typically write down everything that I'm going to say, but I want to be very intentional with this session because breaking chains is something dear to my heart. It's something that I lace in everything I say and do for myself as well as with others because this is going to be a game changer. It's about digging deep and just finding ways to move forward. And so my topic or what I'm going to focus on and I'm going to put it up here as I'm continue to speak with you. See? Okay. So what I'm going to focus on, it will be strategies on breaking through. A lot of times we know we have to break through. There's some things going on in our life, personally, professionally, but we just don't know how to get through. So today, after hearing this message that I'm going to bring to you, I hope that I share information that will help you carry through and break through. I see Kimberly Gilla is in or is it Gila is in the building. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you for being here. Everyone, thank you so much. I see Be Amazing Sylvia is here now. Thank you for welcoming everyone in. I'm going to get right to it. So again, let's take this as a moment for you to gather your things. You need a pen, you need a paper. If you have your phone where you can quickly take notes because you're going to want to capture this information. If you don't have a pen and paper, this is recorded. Obviously, it's on YouTube and it will be available for replay so that you can go back. Be sure to share this out with people in your circle that you know may need to hear this too, because this is going to be valuable information. It's not gender specific, it's not culture specific, it's people specific. So it's relevant for everyone. All right, and it is my pleasure to bring it to you. I am Coach Sherri, and this channel is about entrepreneurship, career development, workforce development, and just real life. Listen, I'm living out loud. I'm having a good time while I'm doing it. I'm a mother of three. I am a wife of 28 years. My children are young adults, and it's an interesting year for them. They turned their age of the day they were born. So I have a 25 who turned on the 25th, a 23-year-old that turned on the 23rd, and a 21-year-old that turned on the 21st. So I am honored. God has given them all to me as special gifts that I cherish. And the things I'm sharing with you today are things that I absolutely share and pour into them as well every day. What I'm sharing with you, this is what I do. I do this for others. I do it as a business. I do it as a career. And it's something that I love. It is my passion. I have been fortunate to find my passion. And I'm hopeful with the nuggets that I'm sharing with you today that you will continue to be on the road to find your passion too. All right, so let's get into it. So, again, thank you, Marlene. Um, I have a question. Are you tired of living and feeling tied down? Because some people are living it and you can see it. It's shown all over. But then there's others that are masking it and they are just feeling tied down all of the time. They feel like there's no way out. They feel like, there's all the doors are being closed, nothing is available, and they just feel tied down by those chains. And if that is you, you are definitely in the right place. So, regardless of your socioeconomic background or status, your life's experiences, your education, your circle of influence, you can still be bound by chains. Oftentimes, people think, oh, if the beginnings or the middle or the current situation is not, financially feasible, or if it's oh, they have so much education or so much wealth that they don't have chains. No, everyone, no matter what your situation, no matter what your age, your class, your status, everyone has moments in their life when they are bound by chains. The difference is, what are you doing about it? This right here is about accountability. It's about what you are telling yourself. What have you heard over the years that you've come to believe? And are those beliefs serving you to where you need to be? So in my career, in my business, I do coaching for businesses and marketing and helping them. And over the years, I found that what gets in the way is themselves. They get in the way. It's not the business, it's not the process, it's not the people around them, it's not the amount of money they have or don't have, it's not the lack of education or the education that they were able to acquire. It's themselves. They are in their own way. So, in order to break the chains, we have to embrace who we are. We have to understand what we have to contribute because God has given it to us already. The greatness is in us, the strength is in us to break through any chain, any barrier that may come through, that may come up, that may feel like, oh, this is a stopping point. And let me share this with you because it's all about understanding who you are and doing it. So, years ago, my husband and I ventured out to do a real estate development. We were a young Black couple with three young children. We were about 34, 35 years old. Our children were, just starting kindergarten and toddlers thereafter. And we were in an environment, we were in an industry that we did not see many people that looked like us. We saw many people that were, two times our generations older and were very seasoned in that industry. And here we are just starting out. I found myself being the director of marketing and sales for our development, as well as the CFO. I have always been really good with finances and putting together, um, you know, sheets and spreadsheets and such. And I worked closely with our accountants and our lawyers, but it was well beyond anything I had ever done in my life. And had so many thoughts about Can I do this? Is this for me? Is this for us? Are we over our heads? What are we doing here? Especially when we were in meetings with people, nobody again at the table looked like us. I'm here telling them, getting investors, telling them about what we're doing and for them to invest in our project. And again, they don't look like us. And I'm young, I'm a woman, I'm a Black woman, I'm a mother. I thought I was a stay at home mom, but I guess I wasn't. And, just a new industry, a new situation. How many of you in your life have ever encountered something new that was going on in your life? Something that could be a game changer, that was dynamic. But when you looked around, you couldn't even believe you were on that field. You couldn't believe that you were in the building at the table. And you might at times doubt yourself. You might feel like, let me put on this chain. Let me put up this barrier. Maybe if I do that, they won't see me. You know what? No one's expecting me to succeed, so I won't have anything to worry about because I'm just going to do what's expected, and that is to be tied down to not be successful. But you have to, in those moments, you have to know what you're strong at. You have to know that you absolutely can break through, that because you're at that table, because you're in the building, because you're on that field, you are worthy. That is exactly where you're supposed to be. So instead of worrying about what you can't do, what you don't have, how you look, how you're showing up, show up with a stronger posture. Know that, look around and own who you are, embrace who you are, love who you are, and be that one that you know you can be, that you're developing into. Everyone had a start. No one has arrived, even if they are in it for many, many years, decades even. No one has arrived. Everyone is always growing where they're at. So you have to start somewhere. So why not then? Why not that day? So that's how I had to talk to myself going through that situation. It's like my husband was cool with it. He didn't have the same thoughts that I did because he's been on those big platforms and he understood what it meant to succeed in that way. And so I was like, you know what? Let me just straighten up my back. Let me fix my collar. Let me get my briefcase together. Let me make sure that I have all my ducks in a row, that I know exactly what I'm talking about, to be that expert that they are expecting me to be, to understand everything I need to know. I mean, it meant staying up later. It meant, trying to juggle and do that multitasking as a mother, as a wife, and as a businesswoman at that time. And I mean, I've had other businesses, but when you go into the construction business, that's a whole nother beast. And so when I broke through that, now anything else that I do is so simple. It's so simple. And I look back on that experience, on those successes, and I'm able to know if I did it then, even though I may not be doing the same type of thing, but because I was able to achieve and accomplish that back then I can do this too. It's about those transferable skills. It's about remembering the good times. It's about remembering the successes that you've had so that you know they can continue. So I just went off just to let you know about that as my personal story, about part of my personal journey, and the reason why I am 100% in belief that everything is possible. You just really have to know that it is for you. If it was brought to you, that means it is for you. Now, when you're bound by those chains will hold you back from your true self and from your destiny. And that's the thing. And that's what people talk about, that woe is me. I've tried, I can't, I won't, maybe it's not for me, it's for them over there. When you have those talks to yourself, those are chains. Those are really chains. And so you have to think different. You have to have those other stories, those situations in your life when you overcame in your arsenal. Just like when I do interview prep for clients, I always tell them, write down everything that you've ever done that was remarkable in any type of job, volunteer. It could have been something you did for your family. It might have been money that you saved. It might have been a process that you've improved. It may have been, supervising or training up, an employee. Whatever the case is, write it down. What was the situation? What was your role in it? What action steps did you take? What were the results? Always remember those amazing moments, because you'll have to pull up and on an interview, you have to talk about those types of things oftentimes. But when you are going through other things and you're just trying to find who your authentic self is and be true and receive it, and instead of I'm going to try, it becomes I will, I've done it, because you don't want to have those thoughts of doubt. And when you have those thoughts of doubt, it's because you're not remembering when you were successful, when you did do extremely well. So our life is always evolving, no matter if we are wealthy or poor, young or old. And if you don't break through the chains that are holding you down, you will stay there. You will stay stagnant. You will stay bitter. You will stay depressed. When you see people in your circle, and it may be you, if you find that, there's bitterness there, there's depression there, that means that they are bounding themselves, and you have to help them get through those thoughts, like what's going on. Remember that time when you did this? And as a parent and even as a wife, I found myself, telling my children when my husband was playing in the NFL, I would remind him of that game. Remember that game when you did this, with my children. Remember when you stood up in front of the court when you did, We the People for your class project, and you stood in front of those judges to defend a case. It was a project that my son had. And so, remember when you did that, that means standing in front of students is going to be nothing. You were able to defend any case that they threw at you because you studied. So if you're going to stand in front of students and you have a lesson to teach, then study that lesson. What is the lesson you're trying to portray to them? So, remembering those moments again is going to help you with that breakthrough. So when you don't want to stay bitter, you don't want to stay depressed, because that is going to affect how you show up. Now, a lot of times when we talk about breaking through, we'll blame other people. Oh, well, they didn't give me that chance. They didn't give me that opportunity. They told me no, the door was closed. I wasn't invited. A lot of different excuses, basically. And when those happen, you have to remember you cannot control what other people say, do, or think, but you can absolutely control how you show up, the things that you say, and how you think. So change the way you think. If they said no, no is a complete sentence, but that doesn't mean it's the end. It might just mean not right now. If they didn't invite you, well, listen, there's other means to get around to what the solution is you need. And you can make your own event. And I wouldn't say not to invite them, but heck, invite them to show them you have grace and give yourself more grace. So when you find yourself slipping and no one is perfect, absolutely no one is perfect. The only person that's perfect, the only thing that's perfect is God. And so he wants us to, to see like, okay, this might have happened, but I still got you. So give yourself grace and understand that just because you may have slipped that moment, that doesn't define who you are. That does not define that you are going to have to stay down. No, still get back up. Absolutely. So today we're just really going to scratch the surface, because I am going to pour into this session I'm going to try anyway to pour in many of the lessons that I go through with my clients when I do speak and engagement. Typically there might be like an all-day workshop, but I just want to give you these nuggets so that you can have things to marinate on, ponder, have conversations. I know Pandi was talking about conversations around financial literacy, but conversations need to be more robust with the financial literacy as well as with your well-being, your personal development, your professional development. Are you talking to your circle about the new information that you are receiving? Are you asking them these powerful questions that I'm going to share with you, and maybe do a 360 evaluation, asking them how do you see me showing up? Do you see me in a different light? Because trust me, those 360 evaluations are very powerful, because you have no idea how other people see you, and a lot of times it's much more leadership, in a leadership way, much more powerful than you even see yourself. So we're going to scratch the surface, and I'm going to share with you strategies on breaking through. So people tend to believe that if that person or that place or thing, if it would change, everything would be perfect. Again, there's nothing that is perfect either. So it's not about the surroundings changing, it's about you changing. Sometimes you might have to remove yourself from situations because it's not feeding you what you need to be successful. Now, one thing I know for sure, again, you can't control what people say, but you know, when a barrier is out and around you, and when those chains are getting tight, you have to claim your strengths. You have to understand what your strengths are. You have to grab your values and recognize your purpose. Do you know what your purpose is? I know a lot of people don't. You know, who was it? Was it Coach Mary Mah? Let me see. Yes, Coach Mary Mah was talking about the shame and the stigma and how, they have serious consequences. Again, when I started doing coaching for businesses and marketing, I was in my 30s, and most of my clients were in their 50s, and they were at a place in their life where they wanted to do what they loved to do and not what they had to do, but they forgot what they loved to do. They didn't remember what their purpose was because for so many years they did what other people told them to do. They did what people the stigma was of, well, if you live in this part of town, then you should be doing this type of work. Or because you cook so well, then you need to be a chef, you need to go to cooking school. But that wasn't necessarily their purpose. That wasn't necessarily their passion. Just because you're great at something, we're all great at many things. Just because you're great at something doesn't mean that that should be your career path or your business. It just means you're great at that. But you can absolutely do and make a living off of what is your purpose and your passion. It's just a matter of tapping into it. So, the change you need to break through begins with you. And now we're going to look at strategies on breaking through. So, where are you tied down in your life? And think about your life as a whole. Think about professionally, think about personally, think about emotionally, spiritually. Where are you tied down? I want you to write down three situations that show up over and over in your life. And when they show up over and over, and it's things that you feel are tying you down or wrapping that chain around you even tighter, really need to understand that that's not serving you. So something you're doing is insane because you are doing things expecting a different outcome and you're not getting that different outcome. So write down those three situations that show up. And it could be procrastination. You know, Sometimes people they just drag their feet and they're not timely with, getting things done and they find that they're always left behind. It could be picking dysfunctional relationships. It could be, poor relationship with your finances, similar to what Candy was talking about, giving us nuggets on that. What is it? What are those three situations? So I hope you have another notebook just for empowerment conferences. So you have just a sheet of paper. I know you won't have time to really think through it right now, but write it down. What are the three situations that show up over and over? And how are you showing up in those situations? What is your part? We have to take ownership. We have to be accountable. Yes, things happen in our life, absolutely. But how are you showing up? Are you self aware? And if you're self aware, are you managing yourself? That's the only thing you have control over. So, how are you showing up? All right. So, I'm going to give you the first strategy, which is to understand how you are showing up. Now, with this strategy and with all the strategies, I'm going to give you some steps, all right? Because it's more than saying it and just saying, yeah, how are you showing up? Boom, boom. No, what are some of the steps that you can take in order to make sure that you're showing up maybe a little different? So the first one is to determine what your needs are around that situation and where they're not being met. Okay. So that's the first step. The second step is explore whether there are any beliefs standing in the way of your success. So we all have different beliefs because of the bed we were bred in, how we were groomed growing up, our experiences, things we've seen, heard, experienced, our life, just period. And sometimes those beliefs aren't always serving us well in every situation. So you really want to understand, what are your beliefs in those situations? Okay. So you're going to explore those. The third is decide how to change your actions in a way that proactively address situations. So you want to change your actions, because obviously if they keep showing up, if they keep showing up over and over again, that means you're doing the same thing. So you have to do something different. What was it? Einstein that said, it's insanity for a person to think that they can do it the same way but expect a different outcome. And I know that that wasn't the quote, exactly, but that's basically what he was saying. So decide how to change your actions so that you can proactively address the situation. All right. That's taking ownership. So to break through, your passion and end goal has to be clear. And again, it includes your strengths, values, and purpose. So now it's about knowing the second strategy. Oh, I'm sorry. So you want to know your strengths. What do people acknowledge you for? What do people acknowledge you for? Do they acknowledge you for being a great listener, for being able to do strategies around business, to, you know, be that person that they can count on? What do people know or acknowledge you for? What are you really good at doing without requiring much effort? What are you good at without requiring much effort? And what words do people use to describe you or your personality? How do people describe you? And again, that's where the 360 evaluation comes in handy. So let's look at defining your values. Defining your values. All right. Values are very important. And if your values are not aligned with what you are trying to do, who you are surrounding yourself with, those are going to be chains that are going to hold you down. So defining what values you. This first step is, when are you the happiest? When are you the happiest? There are many times in our life when, things happen, but are we happy? When are you the happiest? Or when were you the happiest? Step two, identify the times when you were most proud. When you were most proud. Don't think about other things outside of you, but something that you have done that made you that proud. Like, wow, I did that. I feel good about that. The third one is identify the times when you were most fulfilled and satisfied. So, again, don't think about the other people in your circle, especially for women. We tend to be able to speak highly about our children or other things, but when it comes to ourselves and remembering what makes us feel good, what are we proud of for ourselves, we fall short. So I think I want you to take this moment, or not this moment, but after this conference, and really reflect on this. What would you do if money was not an issue? What would you do? And where and when do you feel most natural? So people ask this question all the time, about what would you do if money was no issue? And I always say exactly what I'm doing now. Because I am absolutely doing what I am passionate for and what I have been here put on earth to serve and be of purpose for. So I'm very pleased to be able to say that. And it feels really, really good. Okay. The fifth or the third strategy, find your passion, right? So, step one, what do you know inside and out? What do you know without even trying? It just comes so natural and it feels so good. It's like, yeah, no, you know, there's some things that I do and people be like, how'd you do that? And it's like, it's just what I do. It's just what I do. And it's not an arrogance. It's just, it is what it is. It's what you do. So what is that thing that you know inside out? Step two, if you were asked to create a class or workshop on something you loved, what would it be? Have you ever thought of that? What would it be? And Marlene has given us this platform and this opportunity to do what we love. So if you had that opportunity, what would it be? Step three, what have you taught others to do in the past? What have you taught others? And that could help you with step two. All right. So those are the things that I have for strategies on breaking through. So right now, I'm going to hope this works in this way. I'm going to drop the link down for Marlene Motivates to come up and share some of her thoughts. Let's see. Right. And in the meantime, I'm going to hop over here. Um, yes, good is in here. Thank you all for being here. Again, I've been on YouTube for it feels like decades. And I have loved YouTube from the very beginning. I first used it because my children were in math that I didn't even know the name of. Like, what is this? And maybe YouTube has a video or tutorial. And so that's how I found it, stumbled upon it. And, I just love coming on here and just sharing information that's going to help empower you, not only you, but your circle. Again, you don't want to be the best thing happening in your circle. You definitely want to be able to share these things so that your circle can improve too. Why not evolve together, especially if they're near and dear to you? If you are a parent and you have children that maybe on a road to that you don't prefer, just keep pouring nuggets into them. They'll receive it. Eventually, they will receive it. You can't be one and done with your children. You can't be one and done with yourself. Now, the only way that you can effectively pour into your children or others is for you to be good with how you're showing up and how you're feeling and breaking through your own chains. I see Marlene is in the building, so I'm going to bring her and add her. Hello, Marlene. How are you?
I'm good. Can you hear me?
Oh, wait, I can't hear you. Hold on.
You can't hear me?
You not hear me?
I can hear you. You can't hear me?
Let's see. Okay.
Is my volume
Um,
down?
I don't know why I can't hear you, but if everyone else can hear Marlene, let's see.
I may have to go out and come back.
Can everyone? Oh, you hear both of us? Okay. Thank you, team filled with Geo. For some reason, I can't hear Marlene though. But you know what? I'm going to mute myself and play this on.
I'm having problems with my camera. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much, Coach Sherri, for joining me and being a part of this conference and participating. I really do appreciate you. And to everybody who participated in this empowerment conference, it was very, very important to talk about, breaking chains and this topic about strategies on breaking through. When I thought about this, I thought about a breakthrough happening for us, and that's the what one of the things that I really want for each and every person is for their personal breakthrough to happen for them. Your breakthrough is coming, but in order for a change to happen for us and in your life, you have to have a plan, and that's a very important strategy to have, is to have a plan. And then after you get a plan, you have to make sure that that plan is reasonable and attainable. Because there's no point to have a goal or a plan if it's not reasonable for you and attainable for you to be able to achieve it. So that's very important. And then after having that plan and having that goal, we have to act on it. Nothing can happen for us and nothing can break through if we fail to act. So we need to act on what the plan that is made for us and then walk in that purpose and not be afraid, because we have to know that we deserve to have an amazing life. We deserve to win And it means that we have to remove that doubt from our mind and follow through the strategies. No matter how many times you fall down, no matter what other people say, don't doubt. Keep on trying, keep on going, and you will win and succeed. That's all I have. That's all I wanted to come up here and say.
Yes,
Thank you so much for
absolutely. It was a
sharing.
little delay because I had to listen to you on my other
Okay.
device, but thank you so much. And again, everyone, this is Marlene Motivates, and she is the GM of all this, the general manager that brings it all together. And next is going to be Team Build with Geo. And Marlene, I appreciate you for talking about having that plan. I am definitely one where, having a plan is so important, and also taking action. And that is what I was going to say is the key to all of this is action. Knowing your past, your strengths, your values, your passion is powerful information to have. And when you take action with it, you will break through all chains. It's all about living and owning your strengths, values, and passion. It's about living purposefully. You wrapped it up amazingly. Motivate Marlene Motivates, because you had to do this with all of us. So this is her. She's the mastermind behind all of this empowerment conference. And again, thank you for letting me share my information with the masses. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
This
you
is
so
brilliant.
much. Bye, everybody.
Take care. All right. So I hope you enjoyed this session. And again, if you missed any of the sessions so far, we've had Coach Mary Mah. She was on at 10. And we've had, let's see, Coach Mary Ma. We have Pandi's here, Candi and more. She came on at 10:45. Be Amazing Sylvia. She was on at 11:30. My session started at 12:15. Up next is Team Build with Geo, and the link to her live is pinned up to the top. So please go over and check her out. Oh my goodness, she's going to talk about the mistakes that hold power over you. And Marlene Motivates is going to wrap it all up in a bow. She's putting it all in a box and putting a beautiful bow on it, because she is going to come on at 1:45 and talk about plans to destroy ignites my fire. This is the Empowerment Conference Breaking Chains. And I hope that you all were able to break some chains, not only take them off, but break them. Because if you just take them off, you know, they can easily be put back on. No, you want to take them off and break them so that no one can put them back on. And let me go over here to the chat so I can speak to everyone. I appreciate you all for being here. This is a beautiful thing. YouTube is an amazing platform to be able to do something like this. We have Nancy Perrin Ministries. Thank you for tuning in. Coach Mary Ma, who was another one of our presenters. Kimberly Gilla, thank you. And hello to you. I'm going to pull up everyone so that they can kind of see, for the replays. Let's see. Hello to you. Uh, we have Pandi's Hair, Candi, and more. Again, she was a presenter. Marlene motivates, and there are six of us. Yes, six. Trying to pull up everyone. Be Amazing Sylvia. She is one of the speakers. She came on before me. And again, if you missed any of us, I have everyone's live pinned on my community wall, as well as we're making playlists. Okay, so you can go and watch the replay, share them out for sure. Let's see. Don't want to miss anyone. Vern, Elevate with Vern is in here. Oh my goodness, y'all don't even know. Vern is amazing, dynamic. Thank you so much for being here and holding it down for sure. Let's see. Team Built with Geo, and she is up next. Again, you can find the link to her live. It's pinned at the top of the messages here of the chat. I don't want to miss anyone. Thank you all. And if you were not able to come into the chat, I get it, because I know a lot of times you could be doing something else, driving, walking, cleaning, just doing something that does not allow you to come down into the chat. That happens with me quite often. but just being here and grabbing the nuggets is really what it's all about. And if you weren't able to have your pen and paper ready, again, this is going to be available on replay. Yes, thank you so much. And everyone in this chat, they are amazing content creators. If you do know them, please be sure to grab them up, check them out, go over and visit them, hear the things that they are saying. I hope that you have felt empowered by the message that I shared. It's been my pleasure sharing it with you. Just a few more minutes, 6 more minutes, and Team Geo. I don't know why, Geo. I'm so used to Boss Life Online. I apologize. Team Build with Geo will be on, and I know that she's going to share some information with you. So if you don't have enough paper, you need to get some more because she is going to definitely share. I see Big Rooster Show is here. Thank you for being here. It's so good to see you. Are you riding your bike through the on the West Coast, enjoying this beautiful weather? I know we have beautiful weather here in the Carolinas right now, perfect fall weather. And I feel like, we're going to all fall into something great. And this empowerment conference, this is the last one for the year. Marlene has already done four. And for the fall, talking about breaking chains, that is how you fall forward and not backwards. Because we want to continue to evolve, and evolving means more than just the things going on around us. It starts with us. It starts and ends with us. So definitely. I'm glad to see everyone is speaking. Team Build with Geo. Candy's here, Candy. Amazing. Well, everyone, thank you so much again for tuning in and being part of this process. This is definitely a positive movement. YouTube needs to promote more of this with billions of people that utilize this platform. I think that, this is something that needs to be shared and received. So, again, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your Saturday. Continue to enjoy this conference. Next up, we have Team Build with Geo, and then we have Marlene Motivates. She's going to wrap it all up. And until we speak again, I hope everyone stays safe. Thank you again. I am Coach Sherri.